In September 2018, a group of Russian explorers did something incredibly brave. They decided to go to the deepest, darkest parts of the world's deepest known cave. Now this is already pretty scary, but they went prepared with a photographer, Robbie Shan, and his assistant, Jeff Wade, to document the amazing formations and maybe find some rare life forms. So far so good, but after descending for 4 days through narrow, muddy tunnels, their excitement started to fade away, being replaced by the daunting reality of how deep they had gone. And then their problems really started. You see, while they were crawling through the muck, 2 of the group had left earlier and set up camps above them. But now those guys started sending messages saying the water levels were rising and they should turn back. But the decision to go all the way down had been made after careful consideration, and they didn't want to disappoint. Besides, they figured that if the water did rise, they could always swim to safety. They pressed on, eventually reaching their deepest camp 6 days after starting their descent. They had a lot of work to do before they could start heading back, so they spent a day taking photos and collecting samples of extremely rare bacteria and fungi that lived in such extreme conditions. Finally, they started their ascent. And here's where things took a turn for the worst. As they got to the second camp, the 2 people who had left earlier were nowhere to be seen. Everything was soaked and supplies were getting wet. Then the horrifying truth dawned on them. The rising water had taken the other 2, and now they were in real trouble. They needed to get out of there fast. Suddenly, the water started rushing into their camp. They desperately tried to grab things and get out, but the water poured in faster than they could escape. The current was strong and they were being pulled in. It felt like minutes, but it was actually 20 hours before the water levels started to drop again. When they finally made it to a relatively dry section of the cave, they realized they had no choice but to wait. So they rested, ate what little food they had left and waited, hoping that the worst was over. Eventually, after another 4 days, they slowly made their way out of the cave. Each step a victory over the fear and exhaustion that threatened to consume them. It had been a grueling 14-day journey, but the experience had changed them forever. They had stared death in the face and come out the other side. Their bonds strengthened by the shared trauma, and their respect for the natural world deepened. The Voronya Cave may be one of the most beautiful places on Earth, but it's also a place of danger and mystery. If you want to hear more stories about the amazing things that have happened in caves, stay tuned for more updates. And remember, sometimes the greatest adventures can take you to the darkest places imaginable. Thanks for watching.